What if the universe, wasn't just this enormous cold emptiness? What if it was actually something alive, maybe even something recognizably human? Imagine, like every star, every galaxy, just part of one giant living thing, maybe with eyes, maybe arms.
A cosmic heartbeat, even.
Exactly. That's a really surprising idea we're diving into today, the cosmic man and Homo Signorum.
Right.
So our mission here is to sort of unpack how different cultures across ages and all over the globe saw the entire cosmos, stars, seas, everything as this giant being, often a human-like one. We'll be drawing on some fascinating ancient texts and philosophies.
Yeah, and it's quite a range of sources. We're talking ancient Egypt, India, Norse myths, Greek philosophy, even Jewish Kabbalah and early Christian Gnosticism. It's pretty diverse.
Wow.
But what you'll find, I think, is this common thread, this human tendency to see ourselves reflected back, even on the grandest scale imaginable.
Okay, so let's get into it. This whole idea of a cosmic man, where does it often start? It seems like the sun and moon are fundamental here.
Absolutely. That's a really common starting point. The sources show again and again these two celestial bodies being seen as, well, the eyes of some vast supreme figure up there.
The eyes, okay, and the head itself.
Often, yeah, the head was imagined as the entire celestial sphere, the dome of the sky.
Right, right.
And what's fascinating, really, is how this idea of the cosmic man being a supreme god, meaning the only god, points to a very primitive kind of pantheism.
Pantheism, meaning God is the universe.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
The absolute identity of God and the universe. And these cosmic eyes, the sun and moon, they're a really powerful recurring image for that.
And it wasn't just the eyes, was it? They imagined other features?
Oh, yeah. The sources get quite specific. The crown of the head might be to the north, the mouth and chin down south, the nose naturally sort of between the eyes and mouth.
Makes sense.
And in some accounts, the ears, maybe even the nose too, were thought to actually extend beyond the sphere itself. So it's almost like the heavens literally had a face.
That's quite a picture. Do we have specific examples of this, like from Egypt?
We do. The ancient Egyptians sometimes saw that cosmic face, those two eyes, as belonging to Horus. He was their solar god, or sometimes a cosmic god, tied to both the sun and the whole cosmos.
Okay.
And then there's the hymn to Tatenin, maybe around 1100 BC. It's incredible. It describes Pa with his feet on the earth, head way up high, his body is the earth.
His body is the earth.
Yeah. And his eyes, sun and moon, light up heaven. His nostrils breathe out the wind. His mouth gives celestial waters, so rain. Even his back produces grain.
Wow, that's incredibly integrated.
It is. And linking to that, the Litany of Ra shows Ra as the pantheos, the god who contains all gods, this all-encompassing figure. And he's also the cosmic man, so huge. His actual shape is hidden, his tears make rain, and his hand, symbolized by the solar flabellum, that sort of fan or standard, glorifies his eye.
That integration is stunning. Divine, natural, human, all one vast being. And you mentioned this even applied to individuals after death.
That's another layer. The sources show that deceased Egyptians were mystically identified with certain gods.
Okay.
And the combined forms of these gods were thought to basically make up the whole universe. So the deceased becomes a cosmic man, in a way.
So the individual becomes a universe in miniature.
Precisely. And while the specific body parts assigned to different gods might change between texts, the pyramid texts, Book of the Dead, Litany of Ra, that core idea remains. It's a profound spiritual identity.
This idea of the individual as a mini-universe.
Yeah.
It feels like it echoes something bigger, maybe in creation stories.
It absolutely does. It mirrors that grander theme you find in so many myths worldwide. The idea that the universe itself was formed from the body of some original primordial being.
Right. That's a thread that seems to run through so many different places. How do other cultures approach this? The universe from a cosmic body?
Well, if you look at the Hindu Rig Veda, there's Purusha, a being described with 1,000 heads, 1,000 eyes, 1,000 feet, just immense.
1,000.
And the text says the universe is Purusha. Then, from his sacrifice, everything emerges. All creatures, the 4 social castes, the moon comes from his mind, the sun from his eye, the firmament from his navel, heaven from his head, and earth from his feet. Now, it's worth noting this idea of Purusha's body being discerpted, sort of cut up or divided to form the universe, that's considered a later variation on the universe as the cosmic man.
Interesting distinction.
And this Vedic Purusha isn't just the cosmic man. He's also seen as the prototype for the first created man. Think of the biblical Adam. There are Talmudic traditions describing Adam as so huge his head was in heaven while his feet touched the ends of the world.
So a direct link there, almost.
A very strong parallel, yeah. connecting him right back to Purusha.
So even in traditions that seem worlds apart, you get this shared vision of humanity's origins on a cosmic scale.
Absolutely. And visually, sometimes you see Brahm or Brahma depicted as a cosmic god in a spherical form, maybe with a toe in his mouth.
A toe in his mouth. What?
It symbolizes the serpent of the zodiac, the Ouroboros, forming a circle, biting its own tail, cyclical time the universe contained.
Oh, okay.
And then you have Krishna's revelation to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, which is breathtaking. Krishna appears as the cosmic man of many a mouth and eye. Sun and moon are his eyes, his mouth like a flaming fire.
Sounds terrifying.
Arjuna is terrified by this gigantic form that contains the entire universe. And similarly, the Vishnu Purana describes Vishnu as the source, the sustainer. Cosmic elements just emanate from him. Sun from his eyes, wind from ears, moon from mind, and so on. It's overwhelming.
An incredibly potent image, almost scary in its scale. And this wasn't just in Hindu traditions, right? Other creation stories have similar ideas.
Definitely. Look at the Norse Elder Edda. The earth is made from the flesh of the giant Ymir, the sea from his blood, hills from his bones, trees from his hair. Even the sky, heaven, is made from his skull.
His skull. Wow.
And in the Babylonian creation epic, the god Marduk battles the serpent like Tiamat, splits her body in two, and forms heaven and earth from the pieces.
So sacrifice, dissection, emanation, different mechanisms, but the same core idea. The universe is this foundational body.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a really consistent theme.
But then there's a twist with the Manichaean view, isn't there?
Yeah.
That seems different.
It is, yeah. It puts a different spin on it. The Manichaean belief from Mani was that worldly existence is actually a bodily formation of a Harmon.
A Harmon being the evil deity.
Exactly. So in this view, the sky is a Harmon skin, earth his flesh, mountains his bones, trees his hair. But this is a later development, and it's quite different from earlier Iranian thought, where the good and evil forces were generally seen as outside the universe, not composing it.
Okay, so moving on from these ancient creation myths, how did, say, philosophers or mystical traditions pick up these threads? Did they refine the idea of a living human-like universe? Maybe see it as a kind of blueprint?
That's a great question, and yes, we see a definite evolution. Greek thinkers, particularly the pantheistic ones like Pythagoras, Xenophanes, Zeno, the Stoics, they often identified the supreme being with the universe itself, envisioning it as this vast, living, rotating sphere.
A living sphere?
Yeah. Empedocles talked about a holy infinite spirit moving through the universe, which he also saw as a globe, though he denied it had human-like parts.
Interesting nuance.
Then Plato made a distinction. He saw a supreme god separate from the universe, but viewed the universe itself as a created living animal, the only begotten universe. Thinkers like Origen, even Socrates, apparently held similar ideas of the universe as a huge animal or body with its own soul.
A world soul.
Exactly. And that concept of a world soul, animating the cosmos and emanating from a higher supreme being, continued with the Neoplatonists and even someone like Maimonides much later.
This philosophical angle then leads pretty naturally to that famous idea, the macrocosm and microcosm, right? The universe as the great man and us, humans, as a small universe.
Precisely. Pico della Mirandola, around 1490, he's the one credited with really popularizing those terms. He described humans as containing elements from everywhere, Earth, the heavens, even the supercelestial realms.
So everything out there is mirrored in here.
That's the core idea. It's powerful. Paracelsus put it bluntly. The lower heaven is a man, and man a heaven. And Oswald Kroll even tried to link cosmic events directly to human ailments, like the Great Flood corresponding to dropsy or storms to epilepsy.
Wow, direct correlations.
Yeah, really taking the microcosm idea quite literally.
And how does this play out in Jewish Kabbalah? That tradition is so focused on symbolism and layers of meaning.
It's central, really. The Zohar, a foundational Kabbalistic text, teaches that mortal humans are counterparts to a celestial or cosmic man, Adam Kadmon, or Adam Ile.
Adam Kadmon,
Yes.
the primordial atom.
Essentially, yes. This cosmic man is represented by the 10 Sephiroth. Think of the Sephiroth as divine emanations, attributes, or energies flowing from the infinite, boundless God, forming an ideal archetypal universe.
Okay, the 10 Sephiroth.
And these 10 are meticulously mapped onto the body of this archetypal man. The top 3 relate to the head and bust, the next 3 to the torso and arms, and the final ones to the legs.
So it's not just a vague resemblance, it's a specific, almost anatomical map of the divine onto a human blueprint.
Exactly. It's very detailed. Supplements to the Zohar even introduced Macrocosm, the great face, usually shown in profile. He has one eye always open, a long nose where the spirit of life comes from. And then there's Microcosm, the small face, who's more like a reflection, shown full face. His two eyes are the sun and moon, and his eyelids opening and closing create light and darkness. It's deeply symbolic of how the divine unfolds through this cosmic human pattern.
That's fascinating. So from philosophy and Kabbalah, we then find echoes even in Christian thought. Christ as a cosmic man, that seems unexpected, maybe?
It might seem so, but it's there. In the New Testament, the book of Colossians describes Jesus Christ in really grand cosmic terms. It says, all things in him subsist, and in him dwells all the fullness of the Godhead bodily.
All the fullness.
And certain Gnostic groups took this even further. Groups like the Parate, Monoimus, Valentinus, they saw Christ as the pleroma, the complete fullness of divinity spread throughout the universe, often through various emanations they called eons.
Eons, like stages or aspects of divinity.
Kind of, yeah. Spiritual beings or stages in the divine unfolding. So for them, Christ was the divine essence permeating everything. And then you have that unique Manichaean idea we touched on earlier. They believed Jesus was crucified in the whole universe.
Right, you mentioned that.
And that the earth, the plants, everything was literally composed of his members, which is why they avoided farming. They felt it would actually injure Christ's cosmic body.
A very different interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've traced this grand philosophical and mystical arc, but you mentioned something more practical, the Homo Signorum. What's that about?
Right, the man of the signs. This is where the cosmic body idea gets applied in a very specific, almost diagrammatic way, especially relevant for ancient practices like astrology or medicine influenced by it. The Homo Signorum is basically the earliest known system for specifically assigning each of the 12 zodiac signs to a particular part of the human body, treating the human as that microcosm we talked about.
A zodiac body map.
Pretty much, yeah. It shows up in texts attributed to Manilius way back in the 1st century AD, and you see it persist right through medieval times and even into modern almanacs.
Is there a standard layout?
There's a general, pretty consistent scheme. Aries, the first sign, is usually linked to the head. Pisces, the last sign, corresponds to the feet.
Top to bottom.
Exactly. There are some variations in the middle. Gemini, for instance, might be the arms or the shoulders, or sometimes both, but the head-to-feet structure is pretty standard.
So how did they depict this? Was it literally a drawing?
Oh, absolutely. Early versions often show a full-length human figure standing upright, facing you. Sometimes the body is shown opened up, like an anatomical drawing, to show internal organs, too. And the zodiac signs, or their symbols, are placed directly onto the body part they govern. Later on, you might just see the symbols arranged around the figure, pointing to the relevant areas.
And planets, too, were they mapped onto the body?
Yes. The 7 classical planets were also assigned to body parts. Sometimes they were all clustered in the head, eyes, ears, nostrils, mouth, governed by different planets. Or sometimes, interestingly, mapped onto the hand, which you still see hints of in modern palmistry.
Where did this specific Homo Signorum idea come from? Was it always around?
It seems likely it originated with later Egyptian astrologers, specifically after they adopted the zodiac system we know, which itself came from Babylonia and Greece.
Ah, so it wasn't part of the earliest Egyptian system.
There's no real evidence for that kind of specific zodiacal body map in the older Egyptian traditions before they incorporated the Babylonio-Greek zodiac.
Interesting. And were there different ways of drawing this figure?
Yeah, definitely variations. The standard upright figure was common, but sometimes you see it drawn in a circle, probably influenced by that idea of the cosmic man on the celestial sphere we discussed earlier.
Yeah, okay.
And sometimes you see figures drawn with arms and legs stretched out, forming a kind of Greek cross shape, often inside a square frame with the signs placed around or within that frame.
So it clearly ties back to the bigger picture, the cosmic man idea.
Absolutely. It connects that very practical, almost medical or astrological chart right back to the grander philosophical concept of the universe as a unified living being mirrored perfectly in the human form.
What an incredible journey. We've gone from ancient myths to intricate philosophy, Kabbalah, even Christian interpretations, and down to these practical zodiac charts, all centered on this idea of the universe as a vast living body, a cosmic man.
It really is remarkable, isn't it? The sheer persistence of this idea showing up in so many different cultures across thousands of years.
It makes you wonder, what does it tell us about ourselves? About humanity's need to find its place?
That's the big question, I think. Is it fundamentally about making the immense, maybe overwhelming scale of the cosmos feel more relatable, bringing it down to our own human form?
Or maybe it's the other way around.
Or perhaps it's about seeing something divine reflected in our form and seeing our form reflected in the divine, suggesting this really deep, maybe intrinsic connection between us and everything else.
Something profound to think about.
Yeah.
So maybe the next time you look up at the night sky, or even just think about your own body, perhaps you'll see the universe or yourself just a little differently now through this lens of the cosmic man.